Building your own home is a very significant event in life. Right after reaching the peak of this joy, my relationship with my husband fell apart. My name is Angela, and I am currently 30 years old. We are a family of three: my husband, Matt, who is 35, and our 3-year-old daughter, Tracy. We decided to build a house, a dream of ours for a long time. When I talk about this, people might think I am filled with happiness and that everything is going well, and they might even be envious. But that is not the case for me. Recently, I have been preoccupied with our home construction and issues with my in-laws. The beginning of the collapse was when we left our daughter at my in-laws' house. Both my husband and I work, and we are always busy on weekdays, leaving no time for other things. Therefore, we used to spend our weekends looking for real estate and discussing house plans. We usually left our daughter with my parents, who live nearby, because she would get bored and cranky if we took her to the real estate agent. However, one morning, my father fell ill and had to go to the hospital, so he couldn't take care of Tracy. I thought about canceling our plans for the day. Then my husband suggested, "Why don't we have my parents look after her?" To be honest, I don't have a good relationship with my in-laws. They don't hold back with me. They're Sin's wife, and they say whatever they like. I think it's an old-fashioned attitude. Moreover, I was hesitant to suddenly ask them to take care of a 3-year-old child, but postponing our plans for the day would delay the completion of our house. After some thought, I decided to leave Tracy with my in-laws, just for that day. After finishing our errands, I bought some fancy sweets as a gift and headed to my in-laws' house. We arrived there in the evening, and perhaps because of the sweets, my in-laws welcomed us warmly. After thanking my in-laws and leaving their house, Tracy asked me on the way home, "Are there rooms for Grandpa and Grandma in the new house?" Tracy: "Why? Oh, did Grandpa and Grandma say that?" "What did you answer?" I said I didn't understand. She then quickly started playing and talking with her penguin stuffed toy. Tracy calls my parents Papa and Nana. Grandpa and Grandma refer to my in-laws. Yeah, you wouldn't understand. Maybe they were curious about where they would stay when they come to our house. At that time, I thought they were probably asking about their room in our new house. From that day on, my in-laws started visiting us more frequently on weekday nights and holidays, when my husband and I were home. We were then living in a small, somewhat old rented apartment while saving money to build our house. My in-laws visited regularly, sat on the dining room sofa, and demanded to see the plans for the house we were building. Before I could stop them, my husband happily started showing them the plans and explaining it to them. I didn't like them visiting, so why did they always pry into the details of our new house? Then, my mother-in-law started bombarding me with questions. It was like a public hearing in the parliament, and the target of these questions was not my husband but me. It's as if the chairperson was giving her the floor. "Mother, please go ahead. Looking at this blueprint, the kitchen's location seems impractical. You should change it. Also, increase the number of bedrooms. As we age, we need more space to relax. Moreover, with only one child's room, what will you do if you have more children?" Then came my turn to answer. "Angela, please." Well, my husband and I have discussed this, followed the appropriate procedures, and the foundation work has already started. It's no longer possible to change the layout. I answered a bit angrily. Then the questions about furniture and appliances continued. My mother-in-law, though just saying it herself, claimed to be an expert on homes. I have many friends, so I've been to various houses and seen many rooms. I have an eye for this. I can immediately tell which rooms are comfortable and which furniture is superior. This room in your house doesn't look comfortable, and I bet your daily lives won't go well either. It's just no good. She really thought highly of her self-proclaimed expertise. She was stinging like a mosquito. When I was about to jokingly suggest making it a multi-generational home and sharing the costs, my in-laws got furious. What a terrible daughter-in-law, asking parents to pay. I hate multi-generational homes. They're such a complicated mess. That day, my in-laws left promptly. That was refreshing. They're not my parents, so I don't feel obliged to take care of them more than what I'm comfortable doing. That night, after putting Tracy to bed, my husband spoke to me with an irritated look. Don't be cold to Dad and Mom. They're just trying to give us advice because they care about us. What are you talking about? I didn't intend to be rude, but they are much ruder than me. They always interfere in our house matters and speak down to us. It's like they're looking down on me. It's only natural for parents. They're worried and giving us advice, and you're being disrespectful. You're a woman who can understand others' feelings. You should really reflect on yourself. After that, my husband turned his back to me and stopped talking. Of course, he's their son, but we are a separate family. Moreover, we haven't received any financial support from my in-laws. It's extremely rude to interfere without contributing financially. Although my husband told me to reflect, my anger didn't subside. Instead, I was infuriated by the injustice and had trouble sleeping that night. Despite everything, our house was finally completed. Our family was excited to move, but we soon faced a problem in our new home. From now on, my parents will live with us, so the larger room on the second floor will be for my dad, and the smaller one for my mom. Wait, I can't just accept this all of a sudden. We had agreed that one of the second floor rooms would be for Tracy, and we never discussed living together. Besides, your father and mother might say they don't like the rooms, as they always do. There's no way they'd say that. They've already seen the rooms, so don't worry. What do you mean they've seen the rooms? When did this happen? It was the day before our viewing. What? You mean your parents came to see this house the day before our viewing? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They wanted to see it, so I lent them the keys. There's no problem with them seeing it. They are my parents. After all, my husband said this in an annoyed tone as if the conversation was over and continued working on the TV wiring. What does "they are my parents" after all mean? To me, they are strangers. Not wanting to see my husband's face, I left the kitchen where I was organizing and went upstairs. I closed the door, locked it, and calmed down my raging thoughts. I was grateful that Tracy was at daycare because of the moving, giving me time to think alone. The sudden announcement of living together made me feel disgusted with my husband and in-laws. I didn't want to be in the same space as them, even for a moment, but we had just bought a new house together. Calmly, carefully, I thought hard about what was okay to say and what wasn't. For the bright future of Tracy and I stayed in the room, engraving these thoughts in my mind, waiting for the arrival of my in-laws. As my husband had warned, my in-laws and a moving truck loaded with their belongings arrived in the afternoon. Not even coming to greet us? Parents should be cherished. What's this? You haven't finished unpacking yet. Get it together. After they grumbled a lot, my in-laws entered our new house as if it was natural. I heard this conversation from the second floor, left my room, and headed to the entrance. Father, mother, I was not informed about living together with you two. I was surprised at how calm my first sentence came out. My father-in-law, not liking my tone, immediately criticized me. I already told Matt, so there shouldn't be a problem. There is a problem. I only heard about living with you this morning, and I have no intention of living with you two, who lack basic manners. What are you saying? Matt said it's fine. Do you think it's okay to defy your husband as his wife? Yeah, such a noisy daughter-in-law. You might as well leave. This is hopeless. I've always felt it, but our way of thinking is too different. I can't have a conversation with my in-laws. As I was thinking about how to respond, my husband hurried over in a panic. What are you doing, Angela? Complaining about my parents like that. Complaining? That's not it at all. I was being unilaterally criticized simply because I'm a daughter-in-law. And at that time, I was being criticized by my husband. I realized again that this father and son share the same way of thinking. I cannot live with your parents. Can't live with them. Don't make me suffer like this. You should listen to me, your husband, right? You are my wife, after all. Besides, This house was originally built for my parents. The house was built for your parents.